Today's video is about chapter 4, which is on narrative. And narrative is just another way of talking about stories. So you might think that this is going to be a chapter in which we start getting into content. You'll remember that content is what the film is about, whereas form is how that's told. So actually, narrative is still about form. And the reason is we're going to be talking about how the story is told, not really just what the story is, but how does it work? How do stories work structurally? How do we think about analyzing character? And then we'll get into genre. So that's a little overview of the chapter. The author starts out by talking about what a screenplay looks like in case you've never seen one. There's a really standard format to screenplays, and that format has been around for a long time. So anybody who wants to be taken seriously in the world of movies needs to know screenplay format. The other thing that's important about a screenplay is it keeps everybody on the same page, ba which is a joke that your author makes as well. It's irresistible. All right, and then as I mentioned, we're going to get into how stories are made. And again, that's the form, that's the structure and the characters. It's how the story is told, not really just what the story is about. So we talk about the 3-act structure, which is a really typical structure you'll recognize right away. We talk about different kinds of characters because, of course, they are the action agents. They're going to make sure we care about the story and that we understand the story. So characters are usually the ones we actually hook into and identify with. And then your book points out that theme is an important part of this. So why the story, or what's the story really about underneath the surface? Why does it matter? Why should we care? The last part of the chapter is a quick conversation about genre, and genre is just a word that means type or kind. And so what kind of story is it? What type of story is it? And there are lots of different genres. People have favorites and some that they don't really prefer. So maybe you love Westerns but hate comedies. Maybe you love horror but hate romance. So the end of the chapter talks a little bit about genre and why it's helpful for us as analysts to be able to think about film genre as well. So that's a very quick overview to chapter 4, but enjoy reading it, and I'll see you online.